Hello and welcome to another episode of Down the Track. Today we'll be reviewing the Pakistan versus England first test match. I have with me my co-host, Mr. Abrar Aziz. How are you doing, sir?
Good. Looking forward to this one, actually.
Yeah, it was a great test match, man. I love to have cricket back. I can't tell you, I know there's no fans. There's just one series going on, but it's great to watch. And this was an amazing test match. Pakistan dominating for most of the match, and then just the last day, the last few hours, it was 2 sessions. It was all England,
Yeah.
and they just won the game in 2 sessions. So, your thoughts on the game initially? Yeah.
Like you said, about 85% of the game was dominated Pakistan. I just never really expected England to actually even win this. Like when the fourth inning score of 270, I was like, okay, this is done. And then
I
when
thought
they
there was no chance. No chance.
120 for 5, I was like, this is totally and Butler was not in form, right? And then the tail was kind of starting
Exactly.
with
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is completely done. There's no way. And I switched off for a bit. I came back and I was like, wow, this is actually crazy. It's like they actually putting pressure, and then it just went on and on. They just kept getting those runs. They played it, and Butler, kudos to him, man. He had actually uh, so much pressure. He had a little bit of a shocker with with behind the wickets as well.
Yeah.
And then he kind of knew that something was off, right? And then he would have possibly been dropped, but then he came out. He played what he knows best. Like he played it in a one-day format. I think his first 50 runs came almost at a run a ball. So he just kind of put out a big statement over there. He's like, "Yo, I'm not yet done." So and he's pretty much secured a spot for the next test as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I honestly thought his test career was on the line. I think if England lost that game, he didn't play like that, I think he would have been done. They would have brought folks in, and then there's also Burstow in the wings. I think Butler would have been done, like for a while at least. And he just came out. He got that Adam Gilchrist within him and just played that counter-attacking cricket. It rolled back the years, to be honest. It was brilliant batting. And Wokes, wow, man! Like he scored 100 against India, so I know that he can bat. But he was in poor form. I think last 6 months or so, he's been last a year. He's probably averaging like 6 or 7 runs. He's not been batting well at all, and to suddenly come out like that, being the last recognized, not even recognized batsman, let's just say all-rounder, bowling all-rounder, and just to bat like that under pressure to top score like that, I think brilliant.
Absolutely. I think as much. Whatever credit we give him, that's less. I think just the way he came out and he kind of. Really struck it out over there. Also, similar to Butler, he was also scoring at a pretty decent pace, at least the first 50 runs or so. And then they kind of just settled down and they knew what was up. And this, even though Butler got out, he just went out there. He was there. He finished the game off. It was pretty nice to see. Kudos to him. He had a very good game. He picked up, I think, 4 or 5 wickets, four wickets, if I'm not wrong. So overall, very good performance by him through the course of the whole game for him. So
yeah, before getting into the criticism, despite losing, Pakistan dominated the game. They played brilliantly in the first few days. Shan Masood, 150. How was that knock for you? How important was it? Considering the fact that there's so much pressure on Babar Azam, he's the mainstay. Everyone talks about him, but it was Shan who top scored and gave Pakistan the exact start they needed.
Absolutely, I think that was an incredible innings. It was very, very well done.
He rode his luck a bit, but it was
definitely. I think he was dropped even once, but
but that happens especially in England.
Absolutely, exactly. It always happens, and he made the most of it. They scored that big 100 and really got that team into a very commanding position after first inning. Over 300 runs in today's Test cricket is always a very, very good first inning score, and kind of played a very, very good knock over there. Babar Azam again, the first innings was also pretty good, and then they came out bowling. They bowled really well. This is a very, very good bowling attack in my opinion. I think the likes of Afridi, Naseem, and Abbas, and you know how much I like Abbas. He's such a solid bowler. And then to back it off with one of the best spinners that's out there at this point, with Yasser. So they really made England work hard for even the few runs that they got, and they had an over 100-run lead. And they went out and scored that 170. They had a decent amount. 270 to win. I honestly thought that there was no way that.
On that bowling, the ball to Ben Stokes, how much would you rate that out of 10? One of the best balls I've seen in a while, man. They just chipped away just a fraction. What a delivery!
And I'm telling you, I love that guy Abbas. He's just so good. He's just and he doesn't have too much of a jump in his run. He kind of just walks in to bowl and so much accuracy and that nipping around both ways also. And he's a very good bowler, and I really like the enthusiasm of Naseem and Shaheen Shah Afridi, with that kind of pace that they bring and that a bus with that kind of consistency. I think this is a very good bowling unit to back it up with Yasir's spin, and then Shadab's also there to for a few overs. This is just a solid team. They just I don't know what went wrong. I don't know how they felt so flat after that thing. I don't know if there was a bit of complacency. I don't know what exactly happened. They need just one more wicket and they were in the tail. Like, they would have easily knocked this out. But
Yeah.
very defensive. Some issues in terms of the captaincy as well. I think Azhar Ali had a very very poor day four. Overall, I thought he did an okay job, but a very poor day four where he kind of just completely fell flat. He didn't try anything. He was waiting for things to happen, which is usually a big problem when you kind of wait for things to happen. They never really do. And I'm also worried about his batting because he's really not been performing at the bat as well for some time now. So a lot of questions with on Azhar
Yeah.
Ali's
Uh,
performance
to,
and a captain.
Yeah, to be honest, there was maybe there was complacency because the way they batted, like they could have had more runs. Like I think 350 would have put the game away, and that was very achievable for Pakistan to get that target. But I think they still had, like you said, enough runs, man. 270 on that pitch was a lot of runs. The problem, according to me, it was very simple. It was a simple issue. What cost them the game was the captaincy, and because after tea, they were five down. Vokes comes in, you put Shaheen from one end, put Yasir from the other end, tell Shaheen to bowl some bouncers. Yasir Shah just make him peg away at that at Vokes' pads and outside that off stump. He's gonna stretch, and then he's gonna play a bad shot, man. Like at the end of the day, he's not a complete batsman, right? So if you have your two best bowlers bowling when the guy is new at the crease, he will make a mistake. And then whether you take that chance or not, that's up to you. But there was no chances created because they didn't have their best two bowlers bowling. And another problem is that they hit one shot for four, another shot for four, and then you take deep mid wicket back, you take extra cover back, and then they're knocking around the singles. They were toying with the field. I think they were going around like 6 runs per over at one point. Like that's how fast they were going. But
Yep.
but that's not only because of boundaries. They were working the singles because you had the field back. But like. Um, uh, you needed wickets. You didn't need to contain them. You needed wickets. So there was no point. Like even if they hit quick, it didn't matter how quickly England hit the runs. If they lost a wicket in the middle,
Yeah.
striking at 120, the game was done right there and then, right?
Right.
Like
I
if
agree.
you went with the attacking field while he was on 30, if he was 30 or 15 balls, but then got out, that's it. Game done and dusted.
That's it
You
exactly.
spread the field out. His strike rate went lower, but he just manipulated the field, both him and Butler, and they won them the game.
Absolutely. I think that's just you hit the nail on. You pretty much summed
That's
it
where
up.
the game was turned. Yeah.
I think so. I think, like I said, he was very defensive. He was waiting for things to happen. He just wanted a rash shot, but these guys are smart enough not to do that. They were just knocking it around, taking those singles. Every odd bad ball goes out for a boundary. Towards the end of the game, I'm saying. And like you said, right, initially they kind of scored the first 50 runs. I think both of them scored almost at a run a ball, and he just became too defensive too quickly. I think he could have just tried a few more things. Like you said, he had a couple of chances. He could have probably tried with Yasser, gave him a few overs right away at the beginning, and then Shine Afridi should have just come in and kind of like really, showed him who's boss, like, bowled a few bouncers, like really scared, not necessarily scared him, but like, just make him think twice about what kind of ball the next ball is going to be and stuff like that. They just tried to bowl line length. I mean, I don't know. It just felt like a lot of complacency came over, and very quickly they just lost the hold of the game, and then they couldn't bring it back up. And it was too late by the time they realized that they're losing the grip of the game, and then suddenly,
Yeah, and you saw Yasir, like he still took the game close to the end. If you just give him more overs after tea, it would have been done and dusted. Like, he took it so close to the end. And also another point about, like you mentioned about line and length, I think that's a very valid point. I think someone like Mohammad Abbas, for him, it's perfect. Like, that bowler line length, hold it. But when you have a 17-year-old who bowls 140, 150 clicks, you need to tell him, go and just get wickets. I don't care if you bowl a no ball. I don't care if you get hit for a four or thing. I want you to bowl quick. So what happens then if he bowls really on that pitch? The one ball will just like bounce off, or something will happen off the pitch, and he'll get that wicket. I think the captain and the coach should have told Naseem Shah just to be more attacking as a bowler.
he
And
could have.
that's why he needs to be guided. It's not that he bowled well, like and everything, but he needs to be guided. He shouldn't be a line length bowler. You have a bus already there. You have such a fast bowler. tell him to go ahead. And even Afridi should take more risks. I mean, bowl quicker, bowl the bouncers. They should be more experimental. If they get hit, they get hit. They have a bus to contain the runs on the other end.
Absolutely, absolutely. I think they could have crammed him. They could have just bowled a few Yorkers and like really hit the legs, hit him on the pads a couple of times. Maybe they get an LBW. Something would have worked. I mean,
Yeah, 100%.
they were just trying too little. Like it was, like I said, I've been mentioning this. They just waited for something to happen, and England was not to let them give them that opportunity. And they played well, no doubt. Nothing to take away from Wokes and Butler, but Pakistan could have done a lot more to kind of just break that partnership early. Even if not early, like when they realize that things are getting away, they should have just. Yasir is your bowler. Like Yasir is your wicket-taking bowler. Give him a long spell, give him an 8-10 over spell. And he'll make something happen. I'm just so surprised that didn't really happen as much as I would have liked for it to happen. And
Definitely.
by the end, by the time Butler got out, it was already too late because you just need a few more shots and Broad would come in. He'd nick one here and there, and then be like he also got out, but then by the time it was way too late. So
Yeah.
fortunate for Pakistan, but I think they have to really pick themselves up. They did most of the game. They did it right. They just had to learn to finish it off, and I think hopefully they'll learn from this.
Yeah, they played brilliantly, but that's the thing. When you lose from those kind of positions, it could be very, very like dangerous because like it'll be upsetting as well. It'll get the morale down. As those kind of losses, like where you had the game in your hand and suddenly like it goes away.
Demoralizing victory.
Yeah, but like it shows that they're there to compete. They do have a chance of winning the series still, even though Southampton favors England and stuff. But I think they will challenge England. It won't be an easy series. It'll be very exciting. I think the next two games.
Any changes you're looking forward to?
One change I'm not looking forward to is Ben Stokes. He has to go back to New Zealand. Man, the guy was not supposed to bowl. He takes the ball and think he's just changed the game. Like Pakistan were like 130 for 5 or something. He came for 6. He came. He took 2-3 wickets and the game over. Like suddenly the lead was cut. The guy the guy does everything. Yeah, with the bat he was a bit like. He got a Jaffa in the first innings, second innings. Yeah, like that shot, like it was reviewed. It was his fault. But yeah, I think he will be missed both with the bat and ball. It'll be a big, big miss for England. And I think that will work to Pakistan's advantage for sure. For Pakistan, changes. I would like to see Fawad Alam in for sure, 100%. I think they should take out Shadab. Like he just bowled 10, 11 overs. He did well with the bat, mind you. Like I think he performed well, like more than what I expected with the bat. But bring in a proper batsman, Fawad Alam. And I think that's definitely a change I would like to see. I don't know why they have a problem with this guy. He needs to play. He's an excellent batsman. And like, let's see how that goes. But yeah, from England side, I think I don't want to say this, but no. But the thing is, now Ben Stokes is not there. I was gonna say you have to drop Anderson and play play an extra batsman, play Crawley. But now with no Ben Stokes, they'll have to stick with the same combination and bring in Crawley, I guess, right?
Yeah. They have to for Stokes. Who they bring in? I think
Crawley.
Oh, Crawley. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe I'm guessing.
Yeah. What about that guy? What is his name? Not coming to my head. That left arm fast bowler.
Sam Curran?
Yeah, Sam Curran, but he's a bowling all-rounder.
Yeah, bowling all-rounder, yeah. That's the thing. But the thing is, like I like Anderson. I can see he's getting a bit. He's not there. Like he's not at his 100%. And I think Broad you can't take out. Archer, debatable. I think
he's done enough to keep.
He's been hot and cold. Like I expect more from him, but like he can suddenly generate that pace. He can have those crazy spells. So it's between him and Wood because Wood is also that type of bowler. But I'd probably go with Archer. So Archer, Broad, and maybe bring in, and then you have Wokes already. I think can't do anything. Then it's about
change in Stokes out and just a batsman.
I don't think they'll take out Anderson. They probably won't take out Anderson. Yeah,
I think that's cool. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, and for you, any changes? Like, and what would you like to see? And what's your prediction for the next game?
I think Pakistan wins the next game.
Yeah,
they'll come out all guns blazing. They'll win the next game.
A lot of pressure on Babar Azam, especially after the Nasir Hussain comment. He got out straight after that the next day. He got out straight after that. But he's a world-class player. I think he will score. But he did miss out in the second innings. I think if he made like a 50 or something,
that would have been
he was done. Yeah. I think that's where he needs to be a bit think. But yeah, he's a world class player, no doubt.
He'll learn from it for sure.
Yeah, world class player, and I think, but they still need support. I think someone from the top order like Azhar Ali, Shan Masood, they need to perform and
Yeah.
give Babar Azam that support. Otherwise, that batting can flop, like we saw in the second innings.
100%. Shan Masood did his due diligence, but I think Azhar Ali is due a big knock. Otherwise,
Yeah,
I don't understand.
yeah,
He's playing a very very important number three role in the Pakistan team. It's a very huge role for him to play. He needs to come out and then score those runs.
yeah,
Otherwise, a lot of questions should be asked about off of his captaincy and
yeah.
his.
Yeah, to conclude, I just wanted to ask you about Root's captaincy. I don't think it was that great either. Like I think he missed out on some good bowling changes. Like in the first innings, especially, I think he was defensive as well. I could have gave Archer more overs in the first innings. What did you think about him? Just to round it up.
I think the way Root I've come to understand this about Root is that he is a defensive player and he's a defensive captain. He just does that it comes naturally to him to be kind of a little bit more defensive, and things work out for him because of the individual brilliances usually. And when an individual brilliance doesn't happen, that's when they lose. But more often than not, it happens because of the kind of team that they have in terms of, let's say, Stokes, Broad, Butler, Vokes. These guys are all very very good players, and that's what happens in his head. I think he needs to improve and try and be a little bit more attacking in general. Not only this specific game, I think in general he's been a very defensive captain. That's why they've lost games in the past as well. The games that they could have easily won, not necessarily easy one, but they should have won or could have won. They lose and then they come out. And individual brilliances always take them out.
Yeah, the individual brilliance, like that's why you hit the nail on the head in that sense. Like it was Stokes last year, it was Wokes and Butler in this game.
Broad in the last series, when he came.
Broad in the last series, yeah, it's individual brilliance. Like yeah, you're right. I think he needs to be more proactive as a captain. He needs to be more attacking. He has the people, he has the resources. He needs to just like utilize it when needed. Like work on his field placements as well. I think yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
I think that's it. I think he needs to like just try and see how he can improve that side of things from in terms of captaincy for him as well. Yeah.
Perfect. I think yeah, that pretty much sums it up. If you have any last thoughts, let me know. But looking forward to this next test match on Friday. It'll be a lot of fun. Take care of yourself. Have a good night and
Yep.
see you soon.
See you. Take care.
Take care, man.